Death Mountain division. Both teams looking to put some wins on the board. French Canadians right now at 2 wins and 7 losses, while Rush the Nintendo Swag at 1 win and 8 losses. So both these teams really want to win today. And we are getting started here. Both runners going for the Uncle route opening. So you can get a tree pull in here and check a couple entrances. And that's very nice to see. You get the bombable hut right there in Hyrule Castle.
Oh,
so you can farm up really quickly.
And LJMnin has found the bottom of Ganon's hideout. So that will mean the rail outside is going to lead straight to Ganon. But we could take on Ganon right now, but we won't be able to beat him until we find the 7 crystals in the dungeons, of course.
Yes. The tree pull also providing bombs, which our runners don't need at this point.
So I wonder just where they could be going next. They could just decide with their amount of bombs. They could go straight to South Hyrule and check out all the cave entrances there. But it looks like Asclepios is going to Sanctuary and picking up a Cane of Samaria there. Oh, and he's popped out in Dark World. So this basically means the Sanctuary entrance. The Sanctuary starting point is going to be really tricky for them until they find a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, for sure. But once they do find that Moon Pearl, this will be a fairly convenient way into the Dark World.
Yeah, there's not actually much you're going to be able to check from here, just a small key on the pyramid, and that's going to be it that you can check out here in the bunny form.
And it is a small key to Desert Palace, so that's a useful key that unlocks 2 items on the right side of Desert. So it's always nice to have those kind of keys before you head in to Desert Palace.
You see LJ taking quite a few pauses here. I think he's just taking down a lot of notes right now. But
yeah, that
you've got
seems
to be
likely.
quite quick with your note taking. The problem with the crossroad entrance is that you need to retain a lot of knowledge about where everything is, but you can't take too long doing it because you're still in a timed environment. You're still trying to beat your opponent, so hopefully he doesn't hesitate too long.
Yeah, we did. So AsclepiosRod deciding to do a little bit of bunny walking. We did find Sahasrahla sitting in the fairy cave outside Pod, and now he's found a Hyrule Castle, which will. This is a very useful connector, and he's already found a connector to Death Mountain, which is just great because this will give him a lot more entrances he can check.
Of course, he can't actually hop down to the cave and retrieve the old man and bring him back to the cave because he's just going to end up in a completely different cave instead. So he's actually making use of going back into the castle here, no longer in bunny form, to clear a bit of escape. It's going to be pretty easy for him with 10 bombs.
Yeah.
Misses a couple there. He wants to get the guard aggroed against the chest and then just plant a couple, and that leads to a fairly easy kill.
Finds a mirror, wow. In normal modes, the mirror is a pretty important item, but in entrance, it's especially important because there are a lot of entrances that can only be reached with the mirror. As well, it allows you to route quite a bit more efficiently.
Yeah, the top of one of those particular places where mirror is extremely useful is the top of Lumber Cave. You can often end up there in the Dark World, and there might be an important entrance there in the Light World that you can only get to by the mirror, which you cannot access in any other way. And that is a particular entrance that tends to catch people out when they're first starting this mode.
Yeah, LJM going to the swamp area, and AsclepiosRod finding the Turtle Rock Big Key. So that is likely to be required. LJM now heading to check out some entrances on the south shore.
To answer DW edit in chat, yes, entrances are mostly consistent. They can send you pretty much anywhere in the world, but they do have some consistency, and it also depends on where the type of area you enter in and what other entrances can be around. For instance, if you want to take a trip into most of Skullwoods, you can just go into any of the doors in the actual Skullwoods area, and you will appear in a dungeon, because due to the nature of the many entrances into Skullwoods, as well as the pitfalls, the only type of environment that can accommodate that is the forest outside. And for Ganon in particular, as we've just seen, he's got to have a pitfall entrance and a door exit. So the front of Hyrule Castle is a place that can suit that. Also the cave to the east of Graveyard, which people often do Houlihan plays in, but there's also another location where Ganon can be in.
LJM killing some enemies, trying to farm. I don't know if he's farming rupees or what, but certainly spending some time doing it.
If you're on a rupee farm, the bush crab is dropping 5 rupees. Not the greatest amount, but it gets you a bit of cash to start you off in Cat Creek if you so chose. And that's the front of Turtle Rock there in the Lumberjack's hut.
Yeah, LJM finding a heart container at the Ice Rod Cave area. And, AsclepiosRod, seeing that the Lost Woods hideout is the lumberjack tree,
Yeah,
but he did not go and check the item, which he could have done.
Yeah, if he went to check the item, he could have seen immediately if the Aga 1 player is necessary. Of course, that's not just getting into the town, it's also finding where Aga 1 could be. Luckily, because this is entrance random, you don't need a Master Sword or Cape to get into Aga Tower, you just need to find the entrance. It could be locked by any other number of things, but you're only going to need a sword to send a tap. But Asclepius and Super Body and the hammer inside it.
That's huge. So, several very important items already found. LJM looks like he's going to go for a fake flipper here.
He's trying to line this up with the edge of the screen transition here. He could use one of his bombs to push him into place, and that pretty much gets you in the perfect spot to go do the screen transition instead. But he's going about it the hard way for now. Now that's Asclepius has found the magic bat cave in the Lost Woods, so if he takes the pitfall down, he will find the magic bat. He's not going to need his newly found hammer for that, but he will need the powder, or some means of a fake powder, which he's got the cane for it, so he could try that right now. But he will need the mushroom for that too, if powder isn't found anywhere.
Yeah, LJM spots a small key on the Hylia Island, and he'll head over to Hobo. Asclepios, meanwhile, heading into Kakariko, finds some bombs. This is the old woman house. And a shop. There's a lot of shops in this game. And most of them you don't really encounter in normal rando, but in entrance rando, sometimes it seems like that's all you find.
LJM found a sword on Hobo, which is a very worthy sequence break to do.
Yeah, that's great. Great weapon to have. AsclepiosRod finding a vanilla Kakariko well, which is great because that's 5 items right there. And finds a heart container in the back. Compass, rupees, and more rupees. So nothing too exciting in there. And LJM finding the Smith house down near Desert. And we got a lamp from the bottle vendor. And the chest game, this is where it is in the dark world, but we're in the light world. I don't know if you'd call that French vanilla or what, but nothing much out of there. LJM heading over to check Desert Ledge and then probably Agina. Bumble Hut, just a shop.
Agina is just a fortune teller of dubious repute, much like Agina himself.
And AsclepiosRod finding a connector. And it just goes to Cave 45, so nothing too exciting there.
I guess it's a nice shortcut if you want to go from the village to that area without having the boots or flute.
Now, it is nice, though, to find that because at Cave 45, if you have a late mirror, which they don't, they already have the mirror now, but when you do have a late mirror, that can be one of those out-of-the-way locations that you need to go check sometimes.
Back of a tavern having 20 rupees, that spot is always guaranteed to be vanilla because it's the only entrance in the game which you enter in from the top side.
Yeah, that's only for I believe for technical reasons why that is always vanilla. LJM now checking out the eastern area, finding chest game at Sahasrahla.
Now this looks to be a cave in Death Mountain on Asclepios' side, so he's
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
be investigating it. It's
the old man cave.
Yes. There's a lot of these lesser-known caves in Death Mountain which are pretty hard to recognize from the first off unless you've played a lot of the vanilla game. Death Mountain has a lot of redundant caves which you never need to go in at all in the vanilla game or in Rando.
And it
And
pops
it's
him out. Yeah, go ahead.
spat him out back in the Duck World, but he's south of the Hammer Pegs here, so you could check out a bit more. Can he actually do the digging game as a bunny?
No, you can't, but there are a few entrances you can check out. This is definitely one of the issues with checking out Connect. Oh, we find Swamp Palace in the bomb shop. And LJM finding a Turtle Rock small key. So as I was saying, this one of the issues with taking connectors in Crossworld is sometimes it spits you out in a entrance that you can't go back into, like those bonk rocks. So that is a little bit of a risk, but in this case, it's not so bad when they have the mirror. And finding Pod at the swamp entrance.
Yeah, that is a convenient location for Pod. As soon as you've got Duck World access, you can pretty much get into Pod straight from there and check out a lot of items. But not for now. Gonna have to retreat.
So LJM now heading up, I guess, to the potion shop probably. And got those archers in a pretty nasty position here, but he deals with them eventually.
Asclepios finds a fairy cave outside the Dark Lake Hylia, and now can just use that mirror to check out the other entrance on the Light World side. And it's another connector.
Yeah, those connectors that are close to a spawn point, those are ones you definitely want to check out because you can get back to them easily, and they might be very useful. This one in particular, when you have the mirror, without the mirror, this one is useless, but with the mirror, you can check, I believe, 6 entrances total on the east side of Death Mountain. So this shows just why the mirror is so important in this mode. And we'll get yet another shop as LJM heads up to check the fairy cave and it is the lumberjack cave with a big key. So I imagine he'll go grab
Ooh.
that.
Depends on what big keys you can find in the rest of the seed. Agaron is still a 7 to 8 minute time sink, which you really want to avoid if at all possible.
Yeah,
And
but he
considering
can
the
just
name.
grab that key right away because
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh, true. Yeah.
yeah. This game
Going
is
off a bit of vanilla leftovers there.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
there's a key.
so Eastern Palace big key. Meanwhile, AsclepiosRod finding the C-shaped house, just some bombs there.
Now, because this is key sanity, we're not going to know what dungeons are pendants or crystals until we actually find the maps for them, or just go kill the dungeon boss and see what item they drop. But the Eastern Palace big key is a good find because it at least gets you the big chest in there if you don't want to do Armos.
Yeah, and so not a whole lot on Death Mountain for AsclepiosRod. LJM finding the Uncle drop down at Sanctuary.
Uh,
So we'll see what Uncle has for us today from his unusual location.
yeah, just 10 hours. Don't even know what he was intending to do with them. Throw them at the guards, perhaps.
Yeah, Tenero's a little bit of cash. And we see $300 on the race game.
Probably not going to see the runners go out of their way to get that if they somehow manage to find their way to that particular entrance. They would have to move from the dark world or would find one of the many doors that would actually spit them out back there.
Yeah, Asclepius started finding the other end of Super Bunny Cave, which we already saw, so he just ducks out of there. So we're starting to run out of entrances. It's looking like this may be one of those seeds where we have to do a little bit of bunny walking, because that pearl could be in some bizarre location that's not easily accessible. And here's a connector that we hadn't seen before. So let's see where this goes.
LJM is now in the Lost Woods Thieves Hideout. See if he goes check the item. Ooh, that's the Swamp of Sorrows there. Well, not the swamp, Misery Mile area, let's say.
Yeah, that's a very important connector to find. There's so 3 entrances he can check in the Dark World here, as well as a couple up with the mirror. He can check several entrances on Desert Palace. And LJM remembering that he can check this item, so we'll see. Just a piece of heart, so Aga will not be required for that.
Yeah, and we can get into the East Dark World without needing to kill Aga and take the portal there. So if anybody goes into Castle Tower, it will be just to check the 2 chests in there. But you will need a single small key to check the second chest in there.
Yes. And AsclepiosRod, fortunately, without the Moon Pearl, can't do a lot, but he can check some of these entrances. Now, there is a glitch you can use called Mirror Super Bunny Glitch. So if you use the mirror on the same frame that you go into a door, uh, it'll put you in the Super Bunny state and you'll be able to open chests. Although he won't be able to use it for that particular entrance since you will need a bomb.
It's a trick you often see used to check out the Maya Shed chests here. It's obviously the Maya Shed isn't going to be here unless we've got another case of vanilla going on. But sometimes in Vando, if you find yourself in the Maya area but still without a moonpole, you'll sometimes see people using the Super Bunny Mirror trick just to check those 2 chests, even though they usually won't have the moonpole. Oftentimes, if they're in that area of the world, and they're going to be checking out Checkable Cave and finding the moonpole there anyway.
LJM taking a long pause. I'm not sure if his stream is frozen, maybe, or if
I
he's
don't.
just
I
pausing
think
for a
he.
long time.
I think he must be taking notes on pen and paper or something, because he takes very long pauses so far at most of the entrances he finds.
According to L, someone in chat is saying it seems might be actually be a stream issue, so hopefully that'll get sorted out. But we can follow AsclepiosRod for now. Okay, there, LJMnin going into Turtle Rock. Just one chest you can check here. Actually, oh, it finds the Ether Medallion. There's actually two chests he can check if he wants to burn that key. And there's Sick Kid hiding at the Smith house. So good to keep that in mind for later when you have a bottle.
LJ going to take on the Hokuboku here with just a fighter sword. It's a bit of a tricky proposition, and just one hit is enough to take him out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but you can try again. Do you know if that Ether Medallion works on Hokuboku?
I don't believe it does. I know the Firewall works on him, and for the same reason the Bombus works on him, but I don't think I've ever seen Ice Sword or Ether being used on him, so
I've
would mind
used
seeing that?
Ice Rod on them before, and it kind of works, although not as well as Fire Rod, but I've never tried Ether. I would give Ether a shot here if I were him. He gets it done, so now Chain Chomp Room.
He's got to rig around and avoid getting bitten by the dogs, and he should be able to reach the chest. But this will be his last chest in here, unless it somehow contains another Turtle Rock small key.
Yeah, Scorpios are not going to bother with that $300. Those chain chomps they're really annoying. Right, Scorpio's going to go back to the mire area, it looks like, and finish checking off the stuff while LJM unfortunately gets bit by the chain chomps.
He's going back to check it. For all he knows, this could be a necessary progress item, like the moon pearl or something. We don't have too many more entities that we can check out here. I don't think we've seen the eastern area at all, but that's about it. I suppose there's also the magic shop east of Graveyard Cave, which is probably going to be vanilla, actually, thinking about the other caves.
I think that was checked. I don't remember. I don't think it was anything super important. Sculptors are remembering you can mirror here, and I believe this is in logic. You can mirror here to get past the statues and go into the main desert entrance. So the book is not required for this entrance.
And the main entrance is actually the left entrance.
Yeah, it's almost vanilla. LJM really, yeah, struggling with those chain chomps and decides to come back later. So Asclepios can check out desert.
He also has a small key he can use to check out a couple more chests here.
Oh, okay, our tracker pointing out he did get the item from Chain Chomps was just a red rupee. So I didn't see that. And there's a GT small key. Those will be useful once we find GT. And a big key to Swamp Palace. It's always nice to have that before you go into Swamp.
GT is one of those notorious locations that could be anywhere in the world, and once you find it, it's a whole plethora of items that you can check out.
Yeah.
But it could be anywhere. It could even be the vanilla entrance in Ganon's Tower up on Dark Death Mountain. It actually happened in a race just on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw part of that. Yeah, it's pretty rare when you have an entrance seed with nothing required in GT. Asclepios finding the Swamp Palace entrance.
Yeah, so he can navigate through Skull Woods in bunny form and make his way to the face of Outcast from here. So,
Yeah, he could take a death inside of Skull Woods, and that would revive him as Link, which is a glitch. It would be out of logic, but he would be able to check the item in there if he wanted to.
he's chosen to save the mirror portal then. It's actually going back into the light world. Okay, he's going to check out the sanctuary entrance and probably the cave east of Graveyard. I do believe it's vanilla. But LJ did check this earlier and was, of course, the uncle side of Escape.
So, trying to think of where else the runners can go. We did have that entrance from Hyrule Castle onto Death Mountain. That may be where we need to go next. AsclepiosRod going to pick up his Eastern Big Key.
And takes the 7 crit, so he's just leaving that mirror portal behind. Not going to worry about getting back to the Dark World there.
So AsclepiosRod has resigned himself to do some bunny walking. Although, oh yes, there are 3 entrances on top of Hyrule Castle that you can mirror to. Only 2 of them are accessible right now, since the third is the Aga Tower entrance that you're going to need the Cape or Master Sword for. But yeah, these entrances are very easy to forget. And wow, that's Hype Cave, so that could provide some progression.
Yeah, get some hype in. That's a small key to Ice Palace, not too great. A map, that is actually useful for Tower of Hera. Bottle of Goo, we have found Sick Kid. Map of Swamp Palace, and 50 rupees. So you get an additional check-in, safety, and a couple of dungeons that you can see whether they are pendants or crystals. So not a great hype cave, but not a complete failure of one.
Yeah, definitely getting maps early is it's nice for sure. And oh, there's the archery game. So Scopios now knows where to farm up some money if he needs to get some real quick. So Asclepios now making his way back over to the pod area. My guess is he will go to that Hyrule Castle entrance and then head it over to Death Mountain. Although I'm not sure if he checked the cave by Flute Spot 5. So he may go there first. Yeah, that looks like what he's doing.
I gotta be careful around the birds here. They do a lot of damage to Link in Greenmail.
And that's just a shop, so always you can mirror and check this other entrance as well. And that's Mimic Cave, which we can actually do. Just need the hammer. Just 5 rupees in there.
Some caches in Mimic Cave. Most common Link to Past Randomizer hint of 2019. That said, the hint tiles don't actually work in Entrance Rando. So you won't be seeing any Favanas. Check those out for now.
Yeah. There is a version of Entrance Rando that's being beta tested that has hints, but that is not being used for this tournament. AsclepiosRod using the mirror just in time to get away from that murder bird, or murder dactyl, or whatever they call them these days. Alright, so back into Hyrule Castle. And he is going to take this main entrance, or main exit, and check out Death Mountain. Or not. Okay, he's going to go up and check the back of Escape first. I'm not sure if anyone checked the right side exit.
Looks like LJM is having some stream issues again, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he's having some internet issues because he is kind of cutting in and out from the IRC channel as well. So it's unfortunate, but we can hope they get resolved. So at Dark Cross we have a piece of heart, and without that Hyrule Castle small key, he's not going to be able to go to the back of Escape. So, time to check out the rest of Death Mountain.
A lot of stuff you can still check out here, and of course you can get to the top and get into Tower of Hera thanks to that mirror.
Yeah, in fact, with that mirror and hammer, we can do a lot on Death Mountain. We can check basically, I think, almost every entrance in the Light World. And a couple in the Dark World. So we did have Ice Palace found. And here's the Old Man Rescue Cave.
That's kind of weird. You go into the Old Man cave to retrieve the Old Man so you can bring him back to his cave.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of loop around, I guess. And it goes up all the way up to Tower of Hera. Looks like we have LJMnin back, and he has discovered that connector to the Bonk Rocks by the bomb shop.
For a slow old man who makes Link go at slower than walking speed whilst following, it does some pretty impressive jumps off cliffs, I must say.
Yeah. And we got Paradox Cave, and with that mirror we can just delete that block. Now this is a sequence break, so this won't be in logic until we find the other side of this entrance, but you can still get the items in here. LJMnin finding Pod.
Yeah, that was in the Swamp Palace entrance, so... I can see his stream is still going because obviously the torches are flickering, but
Yeah, it
he's
must.
taking a very long note taking here. Ooh, Cape Flippers in Paddock's Cave.
That's a couple of nice finds.
The Cape is quite a bit more useful than you would expect out of a regular seed because, of course, that opens up a full connector to you once you can actually find Bumper Cave.
Yeah, it also allows us to do. Well, I was gonna say it allows us to do Spike Cave, but you're also gonna need gloves for that. It also opens up the Aga Tower entrance, which we can get to.
I believe for Spike Cave you need a bottle, which Asclepios, of course, has, or 7 hearts total to actually survive a trip across if you haven't got half magic.
You might be right.
So, because he did find that bottle earlier, it is in logic, but still going to be burning a blue potion just to get through there.
And we find the Mimic Cave exit, which is pretty much useless. And oof, taking a death from those moldworms. That is a tough cave to get through when you only got 1 or 2 hearts. No, that Paradox Cave was not in logic because he had to use the mirror glitch to get into it. So it could be in logic, but we don't know where the other side of the entrance is.
So Asclepios going over a couple of checks that LJM has already done. LJM finds another great fairy cave. You're going to be seeing quite a lot more of these in Entrance Rando than you would normally see in any other rando, which would generally be 0. There's a very little reason to go in one unless you are badly in need of health or something.
Yeah. Asclepios going over to check Ice Road Cave. I believe we saw this from LJM.
Yeah, we did. I don't believe it was anything important because I cannot remember what it was now. There's still no gloves yet, so there's one entrance here that, of course, is being left behind for now. That also tends to catch people out in entrance rando. You've got an entrance here in Light World and in the Dark World, known as the shopping mall. Ah, yeah, it was the Fortune Teller's hut, of course. So if there's flippers, Asclepios can actually do a few intended checks here. He can go get his sword from Hobo, and he can also make his way up to Zora. He actually has the money to pay off Zora right now, so that's going to be good for him. It could also be useless for him, but it's at least a check he can do and get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm. As well, there's that waterfall, fairy cave entrance, and the Zora Ledge. There's the sword for Asclepios. LJM seems to be taking a lot of pauses. I I don't know if he's taking notes every time he pauses, or if he's maybe, I don't know. There's another sword for Asclepios. He's going to head up to the Zora area. And finds a potion shop. Just $50 on the Zora ledge. And Asclepios is going to head up to King Zora himself.
Yeah, a bit of a refund if King Zora decides to scam you.
LJM now finally making his way to Kakariko. He's put off these checks for quite some time. And just a full heart container from Zora.
We don't have too much health yet, so a single heart container for 500 rupees isn't a massive loss. It gets you tiny bits more survivability, which is quite necessary when you're fumbling around in the dark world as a defenseless bunny.
Yeah, it's certainly better than nothing, that's for sure.
Maybe this is going to take that to Muscle straight up to Agatara again and actually get in this time.
And it's just the front of the tab. So, Scorpio says, I would love to stay for a drink, but I just don't have time. And looks like he might be making his way back to Death Mountain.
I still don't believe we've seen the Eastern Palace entrance yet. We have seen Sasha's hut a few times.
Yeah. LJM now finding that connector that goes to the Meyer area. And we see a small key up on the Spectacle Rock. And LJM finding the dam. So this is always good to find early, get this out of the way. In Entrance Randomizer, when you pull the dam, it stays drained for the rest of the game. So you only ever have to find it once. And that is, of course, required to get into the swamp. Of course, LJM does not have the Moon Pearl, and that dam is in Dark World, so actually he can't drain it. But it is good to know where it is for later.
It's also a very quick map check on the Asclepios side. We did see that Swamp Palace is the red pendant today.
LJM, I think, maybe not very familiar with this particular cave. This is one of the rupee farming caves. But he goes to talk to the NPC, which does not have an item. And we did have a map check. I think that was a crystal at Hera. Of course,
Correct.
in Key Sanity, you do have to find the map before you can know whether there's a crystal or a pendant at each dungeon. AsclepiosRod finding Blind's hut. So this would be a nice quick 5 items for him. Finding a Turok small key and the boots! And the blue cane.
Something to note is that we're 45 minutes in, this seed has been very dry on small keys so far.
Yeah, you're definitely right there.
So it's looking like most of our small keys are actually going to be found in the dungeons, but we can't really get very far in any of the dungeons yet, so it's might be
Yeah.
inconvenient.
And of course, we got still no Moon Pearl and no gloves, and that limits a lot of the world that we can check. AsclepiosRod now finding Hookshot Cave. So he'll be able to check one chest with a bonk. The other three he'll need the hookshot for, unless he's able to hover. And we get a shield.
And it's put him out at the light road entrance to Death Mountain, so not useful.
Nope.
But it puts him very, very close to Bongfox, actually.
Yeah, so kind of convenient, I guess. And that is a fairy cave, so that's useless. So AsclepiosRod, I think, trying to figure out where he can go next.
RJ finds the sick kid right as Asclepius decides to hand in his bottle to the sick kid, and he's got a key.
And that's the Turtle Rock, so we can actually do a little bit more in Turtle Rock now.
Yeah, we saw LJM take a bit of a venture into Fertile Rock and finding nothing, but Asclepius has an extra key now, so he could well be headed over there to see what he can get. 20 rupees on the desert, let's react. Oh, that's the in the left entrance of desert is the bottom of a spectacle rock here. So we've got an item here. It's a map. Might as well pick it up just to see what dungeon it's for. And that's Hyrule Castle, which is the useless map, because Hyrule Castle is not a pendant or a crystal. It's nothing. So AJ is still making quite a few checks that Asclepius has already done, but he hasn't picked up that mirror yet. So, and he's also taking a very let's say slow and methodical way of checking all of these. I think he's pretty much making sure he's writing everything down, knowing where everything is for future reference. He doesn't want to go forgetting any entrances or anything that he may need later, because that would be a critical loss for him. So Asclepios has found the front of Harry here. He's got 2 items to check out, and then he's going to be pretty much blocked. But he does get a small key.
That back entrance to desert definitely one that can trip newer runners up. It is in logic without the gloves. You can be expected to mirror in between where those rocks are to get into that entrance.
Asclepios taking another trip into Spectacle Rock because, of course, this is a connector. You can take the jump down here to find somewhere entirely different.
LJM using the fighter's sword on the mimics. I'm not sure why he doesn't just hammer them. Scorpio's now finding the smiths.
Yeah, nothing he can do from yes. We have no idea where any of our gloves are yet, let alone the means to unlock them once we do find them.
AsclepiosRod now checking the bonk rocks beside Link's house. Hey, that's a nice entrance. So mini Moldorm Cave, that'll give us another 5 items. We got the bug net. A skull with small key, and not much else.
Yeah, our item lucrative caves today aren't proving particularly lucrative at all, which is quite unusual for Rando. Normally, something out of Mini Moldorm, Hype Cave, or Paddles Cave is going to pay out, but not much today.
Yeah, the seed has not been friendly.
Looks like LJMnin is going to check out a bit of Dark World here, but he still doesn't have that mirror. He's got his hammer out. I hope he remembers that he's not in Super Bunny here. He can't actually use that hammer or even knock down any hammer picks if he was in Super Bunny.
Looks like we are getting a check of the Eastern Palace entrance now from Asclepios. And LGM finds that Misery Mire is our green pendant. We get another Turtle Rock small key.
It looks like the seed surfer is pointing us into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I wonder if that might be where our Moon Pearl is sitting. AsclepiosRod now heading back into Hyrule Castle. As LJM going to take a death. So this will put him back into Link state.
Quite a long, involved route to get to Death Mountain from a starting point.
Yeah, but that can be what entrance can make you do. Who misses the drop down?
LJM has finally picked up the mirror from the front of Escape.
That'll be great for them.
Now, Asclepios has picked up a Hyrule Castle key, so he's actually heading into the back of the Sears here to check out the 3 chests at the other end of the Sears. And also possibly the entrance. Oh, actually, no, we have seen the Sanctuary, so... and that just puts you out onto... I think it was Mimic Cave on Death Mountain. So he's already been to Dark Cross, but he can now use a small key to get into the rest of the sewers here.
Yeah, so we got 3 items back here to check. And we got a rupee, another rupee, and Thief's Town big key.
That is a particularly big key among big keys.
Yeah.
We know what 2 of the pendants are already, so there's a pretty high chance that Thieves Town is a crystal.
LJM finding a Castle Tower small key in Zelda's cell, I believe. Or was that Ganon's Tower?
I wasn't looking, unfortunately.
I thought Asclepios had checked that area, but it's possible he didn't. Okay, our tracker said it was a GT small key, so. Asclepios finding a connector to Spike Cave. So you can go down and check this. This cave down here is kind of annoying. What would you call it? The Death Mountain. Oh, it just brings him to desert. We've already found a connector there.
If I remember correctly from the vanilla game, it's a Great Fairy Cave.
Yeah. Both players taking a bit of a pause now. I think Asclepios trying to decide where to go next. And honestly, I can't think of much besides going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I'm struggling myself. Obviously can't check the digging game. Does Stumpy allow you to pick up an item from him in bunny form?
Unfortunately, you can't get to Stumpy because there's bushes in the
Oh,
way.
of course, the bushes, yes. Ah.
Asclepios is now going to check the potion shop. as LJM finds his boots out of Blind's hut.
This is a mean set of items and keys to do anything with. I really am thinking, like you said, that Totalrock's our only option at this point.
Yeah. Unless there's some entrance I've forgotten about. We just have to wait and see when our runners check in there. AsclepiosRod looks to be, I believe this connector goes to the mire area. Checking the desert entrance. Which, oh, this is where desert left was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's looking for at the moment. I think he might be looking for Turtle Rock actually, but may have misplaced where it was, so he's trying to track it down.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
A chat reminding us that Turtle Rock was a lumberjack house. Right, let's put him outside the back entrance of Scarwoods, and he had access to an entrance here. And let's put him in, oh yeah, back in Scarwoods, because of course these entrances are always going into Scarwoods. So I guess he wants to check out the place of outcasts as a bunny now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Um,
He's got a few caves he can get to here. I don't think he can get in Bumper Cave because there's a rock in the way. I think he can get down to the Curiosity Shop at the south. And of course there's the Dark World version of the Lumberjack Hut here.
that brings him to King's Tomb, but he's not going to be able to check that item without either the Moon Pearl or using that mirror glitch.
Yeah, the lack of moon pearl or gloves is proving really difficult for navigation right now. It's hard to get it pretty much anywhere in the world.
Yeah, Asclepios, I wonder if he's just forgotten where Turtle Rock is. I think the Sank entrance was the Uncle drop down, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that was checked.
Yeah, that is correct, I believe.
Oh, there's the upgrade ferry. So you could go in there and buy bomb or arrow upgrades, which I often do. an entrance, since you usually stumble upon that place by accident. We also got the Village of Outcast fortune teller shop, which is just the Kakariko Inn.
This is the other connector for Spectacle Rock. Can't open up Feast Town just yet, but he's got a few more houses he can check here. One is locked by the hammer, which he can't use. Oh, there's Aga Tower.
Yeah,
So he could take a deliberate death here, reset his bunny status to normal, and check out one chest, but that would be it. But
yeah,
Asclepios isn't doing that for now, because it would be out of logic.
yeah. Definitely, when you're still looking for the Moon Pearl, it's often better to just stick to logic, because you can quickly find yourself getting lost if you don't.
Making some use of his cave knowledge there to take a drop down to pick up a fairy and top up his health.
Alright, so Asclepius back to the mire area, and he had realized he's already checked everything here, so he's going to save and quit. LGM pausing again. And Asclepius started to go one way, but changed his mind.
So the right exit out of Hyrule Castle actually led to the Death Mountain escape exit.
Yeah, so that turns out not to be all that useful.
But it was something we hadn't seen yet, so...
Yeah, so it's really looking like one of our runners eventually has to get into Turtle Rock. I think Asclepius seems kind of lost.
I don't think we've seen the two entrances here, nor the one just to the bottom, which is the Paradox.
Okay, so here's
Why is
Spike Cave.
Paradox Cave called Paradox? But yeah, here's Spike Cave.
So he does have that blue potion. Looks like he might not need it. What? Oh,
No
he
gloves.
doesn't have
No
gloves.
gloves.
I've certainly made that mistake myself more than once. So I was getting all excited to see what's in Spike Cave. All right, chat. We got to send our energy to these runners. They need to go to Turtle Rock because there's just nothing else I can think of. Oh, LJM using a little bonk tactic to get past that enemy, the quicksand enemy. I haven't seen that before, but that's neat. Okay, Asclepios heading in the right direction now. So we know that Turtle Rock is at the lumberjack hut, but no, he's taken the wrong turn. Let's see where he does go. He's pausing again. Asclepios, I think, is completely lost right now.
You've seen this connector quite a few times now. This goes to the Maya area.
Yeah, LJM is checking things, but most of these have already been checked by AsclepiosRod. I think both our runners are just stumped by this seed, and to be fair, it's really not been a friendly seed at all.
Both of our runners kind of fumbling around in desert right now. Things they've already done.
Asclepios just double checking, make sure there wasn't something on that torch. Asclepios now going to double check some of these entrances in the desert area. So this is a spectacle rock cave. I don't know if he's taken the other end of this cave, so that might be something new.
He has taken the other end of this cave, and I can't quite remember where it was, but I don't think I think it was just a redundant location that he'd already been in. I think it might have been the bonk rocks outside of Link's house.
Oh,
No, yeah, well, it was a redundant entrance, but it's the right side of desert.
yeah, that's not helpful.
I think I've got to think he's looking for Turtle Rock right now, and forgot to note down where it was, and is now just lost trying to find it.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll figure it out soon. Because this could be a long seed if neither runner remembers where Turtle Rock is, which, as we know, is at the lumberjack house.
Honestly, this is looking really dire right now. We're 1 hour 15 minutes in. We've got no dungeons done. We've got like a third of the items done on the tracker, but very few keys to even get through the dungeons. Pretty much the only option here is Turtle Rock. This is a disgusting seed so far.
Yeah, this has not been a fun one. Asclepios is heading up to the lumberjack house. Okay, this looks good. All right, let's see what's in here. Hopefully something like the moon pearl that'll open up a lot of things.
We saw the chain chomp chest and the big key chest from LJM's side. You didn't get anything here, but we've got more small keys to get further in now on Asclepios' side.
Yeah,
God, I think I'm here.
with three small keys, we are able to get all the way down to Laser Bridge, even. So there could be an item in Turtle Rock, or it could be one of the other two exits we can get to in Turtle Rock that will lead us somewhere useful.
That's a good point about Laser Bridge, actually, because that is also Freudian logic thanks to the cape. It's kind of sad to say that Turtle Rock is by far our best bet at the moment, considering this is going to be... And no way this cannot be a double dip Turtle Rock, because gonna have to come back here for Firewall and Ice Rod, with Firewall and Ice Rod sometime.
Yeah.
Assuming it's a crystal. We don't know that yet. We do not know what our last pendant is.
Alright, AsclepiosRod now heading. Probably will check the lava chest here. Fighting these pokies with just a master sword, not fun.
It takes a hit there and is already down to critical health.
Yeah, he's being extremely careful. Ooh. There's a wall of anti-fairies coming straight at him.
Kind of chasing the path of the
Yeah.
right now.
He gets the key. He's not going to check the lava chest. He's going to steal the key and go deeper into Turtle Rock. I'm not sure I would skip that chest because he has enough keys to do the... Oh no, he can't get to Laser Bridge. Because... No, wait, he can.
If the keys he has, he can get down to Laser Bridge. Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, he can get there. But unfortunately gets taken out and has to go back through the dungeon.
LJM is taking another long pause here. I have to wonder what might be happening with him. Perhaps something is affecting him in real life and he has to keep pausing for that. Asclepios takes a bite out of a chain jump and loses all his health again. But LJM has been basically pausing and very, very hesitant to go through this whole seed in general so far. It's not just note-taking, I reckon. It's got to be something else affecting him, and I'm not sure what it could be.
Yeah, I wonder if, because he's been having internet issues, I wonder if he's trying to do something to deal with those. I don't know. But definitely he is losing a lot of time with all this pausing.
He does get his Master Sword though from the Pyramid Fair. I guess. Oh no! Asclepios takes another hit from the fire-breathing statue there. They have a name. I want to call them Zors, but they're definitely not Zors. Medusas. Medusas. That was it. So yeah, that Medusa head has got him in twice now.
Well, he's going to try again because this is really all he has left to do. This is one of those seeds, I think, where both runners are just going to feel behind the whole time.
Honestly, I think if you're playing Rando, you're always feeling behind unless you're like the top runner in the world. Then you only feel behind half of the time. I want to see him make use of that Ether medallion.
Yeah, I'd at least give it a shot.
Oh, takes a third death, but it wasn't to the Medusa this time, but to the Hoku Boku. Oh, he's going at it again. He's slashing a bit to show his frustration, and honestly, this has been one of the most frustrating entrance Rando seats I've ever seen. So it's basically making you go all over the place for very little to show for it.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the kind of seeds that are just frustrating. LJM, finding Mini Moldorm Cave now. I don't think there was much in here, if I remember correctly. I think there was, yeah, there was a bug net and a key of some sort. Yeah, just a Skullwoods key. AsclepiosRod deciding, you know what, I'll just check this lava chest. And gets the Quake medallion.
Not what we're looking for right now. Oh, here we go. Here comes the Ether medallion.
Okay, it freezes them. I was wondering how it would do. Yeah, that makes things a lot easier. So Asclepios decides he's just going to go straight for Laser Bridge since there's some guaranteed items. He's not going to try to take the other exit.
Yeah, better for him that he takes the items on Lacerbridge first, then returns to check out the entrances. And of course, there's an entrance right on Lacerbridge itself that he can see first.
There's a hard container there, so looks like we're headed to Laser Bridge now. And hopefully we'll find some major progression here, because if not, this seed is going to just get even more frustrating. First chest, 20 rupees. Second chest, a green rupee.
Oh, it just gets worse all the time.
I would pull out the Cane of Burna here. You don't want to die and have to go all the way back to the start again.
LJ gets their third Turtle Rock key from the Sig Kid. So it's looking like the boss and Sig Kid were quite necessary today. And it's basically just been a case of hunt down the small keys for Turtle Rock, then make your way through it.
And there's
there
a
we
glove.
go. Finally.
All right, so no Moon Pearl, but that glove opens up a number of entrances. And Laser Bridge takes us out to Bumper Cave. And just a compass sitting on Bumper Cave, so I'm not going to bother with that.
Oh no. He's jumped down. He's not going to check out the upper entrances.
Well, that glove has opened up a lot of things he can do, so I don't blame him for this.
But I'd at least have checked out the upper entrances first before going on my glove venture. I guess it doesn't take too long to get back to Turtle Rock, but
I think he's just had enough of Turtle Rock for now, and I don't blame him. Alright, so he can check Checkerboard Cave here now, as well as that rock down by whatever that rock is, just to the west of the dam.
yeah, but that's the money farming cave.
Yes.
When LJM was talking to the thief in the other money farm cave, he's actually mentioned that his brother was far more lucrative cash, and yeah, he can get 15, 30, 45 rupees in there each trip. Oh dear, that's a small key to Castle Tower.
Alright, well, that opens up the second item in Castle Tower. So Asclepios now can check. So here's the entrance I was just talking about. And it's Ice Rod Cave. What do we got in here?
And the good side of Ice Rock Cave, I can get an item.
It's a compass.
Somehow there's the bad side of Ice Rock Cave, where all you can find is just some fairies and a golden bee.
Alright, so it looks like now Asclepios, I think, is going to go over to the shopping mall by Ice Rod Cave, since there's an entrance there that is opened by the gloves.
Well, hopefully for LJM's sake, they've got pretty much all the same items that Asclepios has got now, so they just need to take their Turtle Rock keys to Turtle Rock now, and they can save themselves a whole lot of wandering around at Asclepios.
Yeah. Alright, so let's see. What else is open? I'm trying to think now.
We've seen Zora already, because we've had a flip. We've seen the front entrance to Death Mountain, because and then an entryway went out to that place.
Yeah, I mean, that opened up those three entrances that he just checked. But, what else? Where was Aga Tower? Do you remember?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I need to take more notes.
I've been noting some of them down, but yeah, I don't remember every single one.
Macanex in chat is telling us it was the chess game in the Dark Village of Outcasts.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so the Moon Pearl will not be in there.
Yeah, Asclepios found it and decided not to check the first chest in there. It's out of logic. You'd have to glitch your way to,
Yeah.
die and reset your status to actually check anything in there. And of course, it can't be the Moon Pearl, which is really what we're looking for.
Asclepios is okay. He's heading back into Turtle Rock. Maybe check that other entrance. No, save and quit. Just wanted magic, I guess. I'm actually stumped. I'm trying to think what else there is to do.
Can't do anything else in Dark World because no moon pearl. We've seen the front of we've seen the back of desert. So there's
Where
got
was Do you remember where Spike Cave was?
Yeah, it was somewhere in the Light Dark Death Mountain, I think.
Okay, maybe that's where he's headed.
I think it was the left cave here.
Okay. Yes,
Ah,
it
yeah.
is. So this is, I think, the only thing left in logic right now. And we got Titans, mates. Oh boy, so that'll open up King's Tomb. It will allow us to do a bit of bunny walking in Dark Death Mountain. I don't know if that'll be helpful or not. It'll open up the Ice Palace entrance. But my money's on King's Tomb right now.
And that seems to be what Asclepios is thinking too, because he's headed straight there.
And
Well,
it is Ganon's Tower.
a
So,
lot of chests to find here. Lots and lots of chests. Maybe our moon pearl's down here. We have to hope it's down here.
yeah, but the thing is, we got no fire rod and no hook shot, so a lot of these chests are not in logic, but some of them are. Can we see a tile room moon pearl? Sculptor's going to use the cape glitch. So for this glitch, you just turn on the cape and grab a wall, and just hang onto the wall, and it will not drain your magic.
We can. Some people in chat talking about accessing the right side. You can get to the ice armors with the items he has. You can't do bomb jump, of course, because that's not in logic. But he does have the boots, and he can. In the room with the dark bridges, he can just lift up a pot, go bonking off the other pots and onto the other bridge, and get into the ice armors from that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Hey, that is the hook shot. Okay, well that opens up the entire left side now of GT. So lots of items to get there. It opens up some items in Hookshot Cave as well.
This seed has basically been find the 3 Turtle Rock keys. Rest of the seed opens up to you.
Yeah, wonder if we'll see like a Moon Pearl for Go mode situation. But yeah, what a just a crazy difficult seed this has been so far. All right, we got a heart container. Is that the ice rod or the fire rod?
That's the
I can
ice
never
rod, yeah.
tell. Okay. Big
Key.
key to pod. Don't believe we did find pod somewhere. Where was that?
Yeah, I think that
Oh,
was
that was the swamp palace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that won't be in logic till we find the moon pearl. There's a Misery Mire small key. Desert Palace map. That's at
Been,
least a useful map.
yeah, been there a million times. Might as well find out if it's a crystal at this point.
Alright, Random Room coming up next. It's a Hera big key.
So basically, everything is gatekept by 3 Tailed Rock keys. You use those to get your power gloves, then your mitts, then get into Against Out, and you get everything else.
Yeah. Is this seed gonna make them go back to Hera to get the Moon Pearl? We'll have a vanilla Moon Pearl in Hera. No, never mind. There it is. Alright, 1
Everything-
hour 36 minutes in, we finally have full Dark World access.
I told you, everything is here in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that'll happen. So Asclepius is going to check the rest of the basement, at least the rest of the chests he can. We'll see if he takes on Ice Armos. It's not going to be an easy fight without the bow, but it is in logic, and it's possible.
Couple of frustration slashes there. Probably the most annoying way of taking down Almos, and probably exhibited of the runner's mentality at the moment. Just slashing a sword a whole lot just to take down a few Almos very slowly.
Yeah, but this is in logic, and it can be required, so Asclepius says, you know what, I don't want to risk isolating an item in here, so I'm just going to get this over with. So, this might take a minute or two. Meanwhile, LJM still needs to make his way back to Turtle Rock.
Chat's pointing out some of the weird almost damage values here. Pokes do more damage than slashes, spins do quadruple times the damage of slashes. But I think when you're 1 hour 39 in, you haven't completed any dungeons at all, and you've only just found the key, basically the keys to the seed.
Yeah.
You probably don't really care at this point.
No, I think just happy to have that Moon Pearl finally. Alright, Asclepius finally taking down these Ice Armos. Let's see what kind of treasures we got in back. We got the big key of an almost vanilla GT big key.
And a mushroom.
And a mushroom.
So here's a fetch quest, and here's a chest you almost never see.
I've seen some important things in this chest from time to time. I think the worst was I had the hammer in here once.
That's our first pod small key. I guess that's important.
Yeah, that's surprising. Normally, normally I have a bunch of them by now. But AsclepiosRod now exits GT, and it's like a kid in a candy store. Everything's open all of a sudden. So I think logically the first thing to do is check Village of Outcasts. But they might dip into Skull Woods as well.
So much to do now. It's like basically getting into the Dark World in a normal seed, but just like an hour later than normal. Pickett steals a green rupee from Asclepius.
Gemini Scorpio asks, why didn't they finish Ganon's Tower? Well, you need the bow, first of all, but second of all, in entrance random in this mode, Ganon's Tower is not required unless it locks an important item. So the only thing Ganon's Tower does is it opens the hole on top of the pyramid, but that will not necessarily be Ganon. That will be, in this case, it'll just be the back of Escape, which they've already found. But yeah, to finish the seed, they need to collect the 7 crystals and then just go straight to Ganon. They do not have to do anything against Tower, necessarily.
LJ is now in Spike Cave. All he needs to do is get to Turtle Rock, use a three small keys to get the power gloves, come back here with power gloves, get the Titan Smiths, get into Ganon's Tower, unlock the seed.
LJM going to be making that same mistake. Oh, no. No, what's he doing? I don't know what he's doing now. Changes. Okay, realizes he can't do it, so. Ganon is randomized between the 7. I believe there's a total of 7 drop-down holes throughout the world. Today we found it at the Uncle drop-down, right next to Hyrule Castle. Ooh, AsclepiosRod taking an overworld death. That's never fun.
Yeah, in some cases, Ganon can actually be found in his vanilla location, which requires you to Ganon's Tower for it. Actually, in the Sunday base, Ganon's Tower was in the vanilla location, and he had to just clear it to get Ganon in his vanilla location.
Yeah,
it was another rude seed.
Yeah, I think the chances of that basically are 1 in 7. So you will sometimes you'll have to clear Ganon's Tower, but not usually. You don't. Okay, Asclepios are now going to check out Hype Cave. And it is just a fairy there.
It's a fairy cave in the light world, so I guess he's taking a trip to the other side. So, LJMnin has unfortunately taken a very kind of like slow approach to the seed, and he's now kind of like in the same state that Asclepius was in for approximately half an hour or so, where just walking around trying to figure out where to go. We know where he needs to go for, and that is Turtle Rock. He's got the keys for it.
And we do see Swamp is one of our pendants. As AsclepiosRod picked up a second pod key off the floating island. And he's now going to check out what we call the Dark World Shopping Mall. So named because there are 3 entrances right next to each other. Hey, it's Thieves Town.
And we have Big Key. We can finish this.
Yeah, we can do everything except for that big chest, which we're going to need the small key for.
So at this point for go mode, we need the fire rod and we need the bow. Depending on our
Yes.
entrances, we might need to get another medallion or two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, in terms of items, we got most of what we need, but we still have to figure out first of all which dungeons are our remaining crystals. We know Mire and Swamp are pendants. We don't know the third pendant though. There's a map to Pod, so that'll give us a bit of new information. So once we find out what our crystals are, then we'll also get an idea of what keys we need to complete the seed as well. And oh, there's a map to Gan's Tower, so that one's useless.
yeah, we've had both of the useless maps now. Ganon's Tower and Hyrule Castle. I guess there's the Castle Tower too. That's another potential. Well, hang on. The Castle Tower is part of the Hyrule Castle map, isn't it? So same map
Yeah,
as both of them.
yeah. I think there's no map specifically for Castle Tower.
So we're gonna have to leave the item behind here in the big chest.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing important.
Or to be bow and it's locked behind Trinex.
Hey, tempered sword.
Yeah, now we're cooking with bacon. Alright, 149. We're finally going to get our first boss off a seed. We're also going to see if it's a pendant or a crystal. A baker's job is a piece of cake, but I definitely would not describe the seed as a piece of cake so far.
No, definitely not. AsclepiosRod dispatches blind. And we got a small key to Pod and a crystal. So 1 hour and 49 minutes into the seed, AsclepiosRod is the first runner with a crystal. And first order of business, check the other two entrances here. That's Checkerboard Cave, just a piece of heart there. And just a fairy cave. LJMnin pausing again. I'm not sure if this is he's actually pausing or if this is another stream issue. Unfortunately, it hasn't got a timer, so we can't even really tell from that if it's a stream issue or not. AsclepiosRod now going to check the Ice Rod Cave. LJMnin going to save and quit. So it looks like he was just paused. I think he is. I think he may be completely stumped.
There's the Ice Palace entrance.
Okay, AsclepiosRod now heading back into the Dark World. Looks like he's going to run over, check Stumpy, Dig Game, and then probably some more of these Village of Outcast entrances. So Stumpy just with some rupees for us. And the archery game entrance. Oh, he's not going to go in just yet. Going to do the dig game. No. Okay, going to do dig game. Alright, how many digs are we going to have to do today?
25 plus.
And we get a map. It's for Eastern Palace.
It seems like post Ganon Towers, it's just been a chain of keys and maps so far.
Now, LJMnin checking Zora. Gonna get that heart container. AsclepiosRod heads in to check the hammer bag game. And it's Eastern Palace. So we don't have a bow, but we do have the big key, so we can get 5 of the 6 items in here. So LJM, unfortunately, seems to be just avoiding Turtle Rock like the plague, but we know that's where he needs to go to get those gloves, which will unlock another pair of gloves, which will unlock the Moon Pearl.
The problem for LJ is that he took a trip into Turtle Rock long ago with just a single key. He's took quite a few deaths to the chain tombs there, trying to get the chest, and got nothing from the chest. And we know he needs to head deep into the dungeon, but he's kind of disincentivized from going deep into the dungeon because he's already been in there.
Yeah.
He's just checking out all these remaining caves so far that Asclepios did quite a long time ago, but in a fairly slow way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Alright, we haven't found anything yet in the Eastern Palace, and just a piece of heart, so we got one chest left in here.
So just to give a summary of the seed so far, this has basically been scouring most of Hyrule and a lot of bunny trips on the Dark World to find essentially the way into Turtle Rock. We had to find 3 small keys for Turtle Rock, the hammer and the cane. And a few other items you could get besides that, like the boots and such, but you needed really to get far into Turtle Rock so they could then get the power gloves from Laser Bridge. With the power gloves from Laser Bridge, you could get the Titan's Mitts in Spike Cave. And with the Titan's Mitts, you could access the King's Tomb and get into Ganon's Tower, where you could find the hookshot, the ice rod, a ton of keys, the moon pearl, and basically free access to the rest of the seed.
Yeah, this has been one of the tougher entrance seeds I've seen. But Asclepios is on the right path, at least. He's got a lot of stuff open to check, so he has things to do.
We also found a entrance to Turtle Rock, so you can go back there quickly for Trinex once he gets a fire rod.
And the bombable hut is vanilla, and it's got a shield. And here's the Thieves' Town entrance. Hey, it's the bomb shop.
Yeah, not a bad location for it.
And oh no, you can talk to the bomb shop guy, and he will tell you the 5-6 crystals. But AsclepiosRod, I think, not aware of that, or maybe just forgot.
Hey, if you haven't done a lot of key sanity, it's something you tend to skip just for not really thinking about it.
Yeah, I certainly forget to check that from time to time.
This is the Death Mountain Escape.
Yeah. Well, bumper ledge in the Dark World. So AsclepiosRod pauses probably just to make a note of it, and is going to take that connector, see where it goes. And it goes to Floating Island. So this is a good connector, actually. This gives us access to pretty much all of Death Mountain now. And we get a Tower of Hera small key. So Tower of Hera now full clearable. And we're going to check the Turtle Rock entrance. It requires Quake. So we can get in there.
Quite a lot more caves to check here on Dark Death Mountain as well as Turtle Rock. Oh, hey, it's the Maya Shed.
Yeah. See what we got in here. Hey, Thieves Town small key. That's not fun to see after you've been to Thieves Town. And we also got the Bombos medallion, so that opens up the Mire entrance, and it also opens up Ice Palace.
Yep, and we've seen the Maya entrance a lot of times so far.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we had to come out of there quite a few times. But it does open up Ice Palace, and that dungeon now is full clearable.
That's the bad side of Ice Rod Cave that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh, here's the back of Skull Woods. We don't have the fire rod, but we can check this first chest. Just a compass there.
Asclepios is taking a look at his items here, but he cannot get into the back area of what he says. He can't light the torches without the fire rod.
Well, you can. It's not in logic, but with the right bomb jump, you can do it with the lamp. But he decides not to bother with that. And he's going to head down and I think he's making his way towards Ice Palace, which I believe was at the Death Mountain entrance cave. Oh, he's going to do Hookshot Cave first. That's right. There's still 3 chests in here to check.
Piece of heart, bombs. And a key. It's another key to Ganon's Tower, which we don't need at this point.
Yeah.
We got all the keys we need for Ganon's. The only reason we would ascend it at this point is if we absolutely need a fire rod.
Alright, okay, I'm not sure where he's heading now. His Ice Palace is just down below him there. Okay, he's heading back up. He may be going to check some more of the entrances on East Death Mountain. Yeah, that's what he's doing. So, in the Super Bunny Cave entrance, that is the other rupee farm. And that's just a fairy cave, so nothing useful there. And Asclepios going to save and quit, not going to go to Ice Palace.
I think we saw those caves earlier, just in bunny form.
Yeah. Yeah, if it were up to me, I certainly would head to Ice Palace.
Could also head to Tower of Hera.
That's another possibility as well, actually.
Yeah, we know that's a crystal, and we know we can full clear it because we've got the lamp. It looks like he's heading to pod entrance. Takes a distant swipe at the fairy with his bug net, but swing and a miss, and he doesn't go back for another try. So LJ is heading up to the dark side of the lumberjack area. He may be headed to Turtle Rock if he thinks to mirror here and go back inside. pod was just another fairy cave. Asclepios actually takes the time to catch one of those fairies now and put it in his empty bottle. We've never seen the back of Zelda's heart yet. We've always been stuck in bunny form here, so we've got 300 rupees, Book of Medora, and Red Boomerang. So that opens up all the tablets. Yeah, Asclepios was, LJM was looking at the King's Doom chest, but he couldn't open it as a bunny. You can use a trick with a mirror to super bunny your way into that place and open up the chest, but he either doesn't know or wasn't willing to try it out because it would be a logic break, and he certainly wouldn't find Moon Pearl there.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, AsclepiosRod running into that bubble guy, which is always annoying. But like I was saying earlier, when you're still looking for the Moon Pearl, you don't necessarily want to do a lot of sequence breaking, just because the logic is usually trying to lead you to the Moon Pearl.
Asclepios, I think getting his routing a bit confused and ending up in a dead end outside the front of Desert Palace.
Yeah, that's one of those annoying. You can go in that entrance, but you can't really get out of it.
Alright, that was a crystal. There's a red crystal in Eastern Palace. I saw that. I didn't quite see what desert was.
I missed it as well.
It looks like our tracker caught it. It was just a regular crystal.
Okay. So we're still trying to figure out what that last pendant is. Could be Pod, Swamp, or sorry, Pod, Schoolwoods, or Ice Palace at this point, or Turtle Rock still.
Right, Asclepios is trying to find his way back to the Maya area, but just going about it in the wrong direction from desert.
And okay, finds the dam now, this time as Link, so we can get through here without glitches.
Yeah, we've seen the swamp front entrance, so I'm guessing he's planning to clear that next.
Yeah, that would be a logical play. I mean, it's a pendant, but there are a lot of items in Swamp. I think he's going to go into Tower of Hera first here.
Ah, yes, Tower of Hair was right here. This is a quick and easy clear for him. Choosing to go into the basement first to check that item, because the bow could be down there. Normally you just clear the rest of Tower of Hair because it's a bit quicker, especially since it's a crystal, and if you happen to find all the items on your way, then yeah, but since this is Key Sanity, it could be anything in here, so might as well just check the basement.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter what order you do it in. Uh, Q Chaos says, I think LJMnin is lost at this point. Yeah, I would agree. Um, it seems I would guess that he's not very experienced with this mode. I mean, I'm sure he's a decent runner at standard, but this league has kind of it's thrown a lot of different modes at runners, and we've definitely seen some runners in modes they're not too experienced with. But I mean, props to him for sticking it out. Certainly, you never like to forfeit before you've seen the other player uh, put their dot done in chat.
Yeah,
But
Crossroad Key Sanity this week has caught out quite a lot of inexperienced runners with it. We've had one or two people forfeit even before the other runners finished simply because they did not know where to go. They literally could not work it out and had been running around for hours and hours without finding their direction to go. It's a very, very different game mode to the rest we've had in the league, with the possible exception of inverted, you could say. But
yeah, inverted another one of those modes that just throws the game on its head.
if you haven't really seen or practiced it much, it really takes a lot of getting grips to it.
So LJMnin gonna use the bunny revival glitch to get this first chest in Naga Tower. He knows it's out of logic. He's not gonna find the Moon Pearl here, but I think he's kind of lost for what else to do. We know, of course, he needs to get to Turtle Rock. He has all the key. Oh, he finds Swamp Palace small key.
Oh man! So the first test in Castle Tower for Swamp Key.
So that's actually pretty important because you can only check one chest in Swamp without that. But there is crystal number 2 for AsclepiosRod. So finally starting to make some progression towards that ultimate goal of 7 crystals and defeating Ganon.
Back of Graveyard Ledge is a map, and Asclepios is going to pick it up.
Map to Ice Palace, which is good because we don't know what Ice Palace is yet.
Yeah, might as well just pick up those maps if you see him, because you just find out what the pendant is.
And
And
it
there's
is
a
a crystal. Yep. And we also saw Pod was the other 5/6 crystal. So we're down to either Turtle Rock or Skull Woods as our last remaining pendant.
Asclepios almost took a saving crit there, but that would have... he did just open a dam and flood the Swamp Palace if he wanted to get in, so he's not taking a saving crit now. In fact, he's going to open up Mizumare. Or not.
It's gonna go back into what was this again? Desert.
We have seen the Maya exit lots and lots and lots of times, just never actually been inside. However, you know where it goes, so not really much point opening it up.
Oh, looks like Asclepios might be. Yeah, he's jumping into Ice Palace now. So this play definitely makes a lot of sense. Got a crystal, you can full clear it. LJM taking a long break. He has not yet forfeited, so he's still in the race. But we know he needs to get up to Turtle Rock, which is at the Lumberjack House, which will set him on the path to get that Moon Pearl. Scorpio's finding the Mirror Shield, nice.
So RJ's heading past the graveyard. He's heading in the right direction, but we have seen him running around in circles for a long time now, so he's not necessarily going up to a lumberjack.
Oh,
But he's still headed in that direction.
Is he making the play? I think he is. Yes, there he goes. All right. LJMnin finally gonna make progress here. He has to get all the way down to Laser Bridge to get that glove, and then make his way back to Spike Cave to get the second glove, which will get him into King's Tomb, which is Ganon's Tower. And in there, he will find the hookshot and the Moon Pearl. So definitely a very convoluted seed, and I think even experienced runners might have a a bit of a difficult time finishing this in under 3 hours. So, hey, Ice Rod in Ice Palace. So that Bombos medallion absolutely required. And we got Skullwood's big key. So that opens up one item in Skullwood's.
So that does mean that we are going to need to find a bow somewhere, and there's a chance we could find the bow somewhere, and that the fireworks at the top of Ganon's Tower, but as it is, it could be somewhere in. It could be from Morphula, it could be the right side of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that could be.
Asclepios misses a bomb jump, and it's just going to go down to Cold Stair. Nope, he's going to take the stairways up.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't take any chances. I would just full clear this dungeon so you guarantee you don't have to come back. Of course, you can't full clear, it doesn't have the big key, so never mind. But he can get 7 of the 8 items in here.
So aside from the bow, we need a Dissipator's big key, it looks like.
Yeah, I think we are going to need that 4th Turtle Rock small key as well. So we gotta find that
Yeah,
somewhere.
we can't get to Trinex without that fourth key because unless he skipped unless he skipped opening the lava bridge, but the lava bridge gave you Quake, and we don't know if we need Quake yet. Well, we know it opens up Turtle Rock, but actually,
Yeah,
did
so
Asclepius go in Turtle Rock?
I'm sorry?
Did Asclepius go in Turtle Rock?
The Turtle Rock entrance, yeah, I think he checked that. I don't remember what it was. Ah, okay, thank you, chat. Yeah, it was the Meyer shed which had bombos. So yeah, that was definitely that Quake definitely was required then.
Oh yeah, because you cannot get into Ice Palace at all without the bombers, and in the Ice Palace is a fire rod. So yeah, 100% required. So yeah, no way to get around it. We are going to need all of the Turtle Rock small keys. God, what a confusing seed.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. Alright, Asclepios taking out Cold Stare. Just a heart container, but he does get crystal number 3. And we are almost halfway to our goal. This is kind of how entrance seeds, well, any key sanity seed really often goes. It's often very slow to make progress in the start because you can't really complete most dungeons until you have some keys. But towards the end of the dungeon, once you reach go mode, those crystals start falling pretty quickly.
So our first tablet check coming up, just a compass.
LJM now finally at Laser Bridge.
No, he's not done yet. He's going to get his power gloves here, but he's got to remember to take those power gloves to Spike Cave. He's been in Spike Cave. He didn't make the same mistake that Asclepius did, which was to try and lift up the rock without the gloves, but he did go in there, and hopefully he made a note of it and knows to go back there with the gloves.
So LJM goes out the Laser Bridge exit. Gonna pause again, probably to make some notes. And AsclepiosRod gonna head into Skull Woods. Now we will find out here now if this is a pendant or not. So once AsclepiosRod finishes Mothula, we will know what we need to complete the seed.
It's a case of bow mode right now. There is a chance that the seed could go the full hog in being the rudest it can possibly can and put the bow on the pedestal.
Oh my god. You're evil. Alright, AsclepiosRod taking out Mothula. Gets a big key to Misery Mire, so and a pendant. So alright, Turtle Rock is our last crystal. and save and quit. So yeah, so now for go mode, we need the bow, we need the Desert Palace big key, and we need that last Turtle Rock small key. LJM finally picks up his glove. So eventually, hopefully, he'll remember to get back to Spike Cave for his Titan's Mitt. AsclepiosRod going to take the blacksmith for a walk. The smith's house was at the fairy cave outside desert. So a little bit of a journey, but not too bad. I've certainly seen worse.
You can check out the Bomber's tablet whilst he's here too, so not bad routing.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, hey!
there is our bow.
We've got some the blacksmiths are taking a side profession in Fletcher's today.
All right, that is going to allow us to finish off Eastern Palace, and we can do most of Pod. We would need 4 Pod small keys in order to full clear it. If you use the hammer jump. No, this is not go mode. We're still looking. We need a desert big key, and we need a Turtle Rock small key. There's a small key. Hey, there it is, Turtle Rock. All right, so we now just looking for the Desert Palace big key. Now, have we seen the back of Desert Palace? I'm not even sure if we've seen that. Yeah, tracker making a point. Hey, look, blue mail in the front of pond. Sorry, that Swamp Palace small key, which was the first chest in Aga Tower. Now, Swamp being a pendant, we may not need that, but that Desert Palace big key could be in Swamp.
It could also be second chest in Aga Tower.
It could be. But if this seed is gonna finally start being nice to us, it'll just be right here in Pod.
Well, there's red mail.
Okay, so that's where all our mails were hiding. AsclepiosRod going to go straight for Helmosar. This makes sense. You do have to complete this boss, so you might as well do this first. And you never know, that Desert Palace big key could be on Helmosar.
LJM is back into wandering mode again. He's
Yeah, he's taking a lot. I think, to be honest, I think he's kind of given up on this race. He's just waiting for that dot done. It's just what it seems like.
but he was kind of taking these pauses straight from pretty much the start of the race. So
Yeah, I
so
don't
like
know.
this is unusual behavior for him. He's been doing this for the past 2.5 hours.
Yeah, maybe he just. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't figured out a good system for taking notes in entrance and having to pause for lengthy amounts of time.
Sheets and sheets of paper.
I just use a map tracker.
So just a piece of hard on Helmer.
AsclepiosRod, though, does get that fourth crystal. And so he's going to. He's not going to clear the rest of pod. That's curious. I guess he just wants to get the rest of his crystals out of the way first.
Yeah, like unless the Desert Palace big key is in swamp, we don't really need that swamp small key as such.
Yeah.
But he does need a Desert Palace big key, and that could be in pod. It could be anywhere.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out where he's heading now. Do you remember where Eastern Palace was?
I do not. I do not.
Yeah.
I know he found it.
Because that would make a lot of sense to go there next. You might as well just knock out another crystal, and then he can knock out Turtle Rock, and then he just has to hunt for that desert big.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We would go to Eastern next. So AsclepiosRod will get his fifth crystal, and like I said, once you start getting close to go mode, those crystals just start falling left and right. Pedestal is not dead. That Desert Palace Big Key certainly can be on there.
I've even seen it there before. One of the first races I commentated was a pedestal key sanity seed, and Desert Palace big key was right there. It'd be kind of ironic if that happened again today.
Yeah.
Okay, OJ is doing a couple of his power glove checks that we've seen Asclepios do quite some time ago.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he will remember Spike Cave once he's done with these.
Yeah, power gloves for Spike Caves isn't typically something you think about needing to find, because Spike Cave is more like, I need to find invincibility item or hammer to get inside, not typically the gloves. So it can
Yeah.
but King's Tomb is one of those locations which you always tend to think mitts to get in or mirror to get in with full Dark Road access. So as soon as you find a mitt somewhere, that immediately starts making you King's Tomb. At least for me it does. So it shouldn't take him too much time to get that to get into Ganistar and get that Hoax on Moon Power once he does get the Titan Smiths from the Spike Cave.
Alright, AsclepiosRod finished with Eastern Palace. That is crystal number 5. Yeah, at this point, there's only 2 locations in the game where the Desert Palace Big Key cannot be. And that's the Desert Palace Big Chest and Online Molus itself. So AsclepiosRod now going to head to take out Trinex.
Remember Asclepios remembers to check the firelock side too. I imagine that's probably going to be like one of the first things he does once he is done for Crystal here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Desert Palace Big Key could be on pedestal. It could be in Moldom 2's chest at the top of Ganestab. It could be pretty anywhere.
Yeah. Alright, so Asclepios now coming up on Trinex. With Tempered Sword and Red Mail, this should not be a difficult fight.
Good use of Cane Dash there.
Gets the two heads down, and done with Trinex. Just some bombs there, so the hunt for the Desert Palace Big Key is on now.
Unlike the rest of our searching earlier, we've got everything we need to get past all the obstacles in our way. It's just simply a matter of finding the entrances to where we need, and the Asclepios has most of us down already. One thing he could do that he might potentially need to do is get a Swamp Palace small key from the front of Castle Tower.
Yeah.
But he is remembering to do the first thing on this list, which is the firelock side of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about Turtle Rock. When you beat the boss, it will spit you out the front entrance always, even if you went in from a different entrance. So it's kind of convenient when you want to go check these two chests. So we got a bottle with a bee and a compass. So nothing useful there. We'll grab a quick magic refill, and now we'll see where he heads next. He's heading up towards the Lost Woods. He might be giving us a ped check.
Yeah, he's not risking it. He's as close as he'll ever be now to the pedestal, so might as well just get it out of the way because the seed has been annoying enough already. Oh wait, no, he's taking the drop down here. He's going to check Magic Bat.
Yeah, I don't think this was checked yet.
Not at all, because the powder was in Ganister? No, it was the one for later Crystal Dungeons. It was definitely in one of the dungeons.
I think it was in Ice Palace. Just $50 from the bat. And AsclepiosRod running away from the ped, so no ped check today. At least not right now. So, one dungeon that we still haven't seen any of, really, is Misery Mire. It is a pendant, but there are 8 items inside. I don't even, do you remember where Meyer was? Did we even find it yet?
I don't think we found it.
Oh. There's also the back of Pod, which AsclepiosRod skipped. So maybe he'll head back there soon. He's gonna check the Swamp Big Chest for, or Skull Woods rather, Big Chest first. That's a shovel.
LJM taking a big long pause in South here because he doesn't have any keys to send it. We want to know those keys will come after he gets the so-called keys to the rest of the seed.
Yeah. I don't know, like... I think he's, I don't know what he's doing, but I don't think he's trying to win this race anymore. AsclepiosRod, meanwhile, still has lots of places to check.
Yeah, one thing we haven't seen yet is the graveyard ledge. This could be mud.
Could be mine, yeah.
It's
Oh,
a back of... Well, we
well,
know where the back of desert is now.
that's good. We just need that big key. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot. We did need to find that. Alright, I think Asclepios is heading back to Pod. No, never mind. Oh, he's gonna check that shovel. Okay.
He could also do a purple chest.
Apparently just a piece of heart from the shovel. Another thing that's available to us now, Pyramid Fairy.
True, we have seen the bomb shop.
I don't remember where it was. Sometimes the flute can be logically required to get the bomb to the pyramid. I don't remember where that shop was though.
Nor do I. Luckily, we're not the ones running a stream, well, running this race. Otherwise, we could have a whole page of notes open. I've had a few notes down, but I didn't record where the bomb shop was. So I've completely forgotten. This is the difficulty of crossroad key sanity, because it's very, very easy to forget where stuff is if you
Yeah.
haven't been taking notes.
Yeah. The best way is to use there's a map tracker available for entrance key sanity. I think that's the best way to go about it. AsclepiosRod is heading back into pod.
He's got quite a lot more to check here, but he doesn't have many small keys to do it with.
Yeah, if he knows the hammer yump, he can check all but one chest, I believe.
Hammer Yump is one of those tricks that if you ever want to get into key sanity, it's pretty much vital for, because Pod has got a lot of small keys required to open up all the doors here, but he can get by with a lot fewer keys. And the Hammer Yump is one of those really vital tricks that will help you save a key to get 2 chests.
Yeah, so with the hammer yump, you need 4 small keys to clear pod, but without the hammer yump, you'll need 5. So we got a blue boomerang. And just a red rupee there. So we're headed down into the basement. And we got a map to Thieves Town. Some arrows. And he's gonna unlock the Harmless Hallway. And just got a red rupee out of there. And Asclepios is going to set up for the hammer yump. This is a pixel perfect trick, so using that pause buffering is important, and he gets it. Small key to Ice Palace, that's not very helpful right now. Big 20. And one last chest we can check for now. It's a single arrow.
Yeah, the single arrow of spite.
Oh, I forgot. There's a couple chests in the front that he hasn't checked, so he's going to go do that now. That's the one annoying thing about pod when you have not enough small keys. You can't open that front door, which makes routing it a bit more of a pain.
You also can't check out the vanilla big key chest. There's only one chest you can get from him. And he's out of her.
Alright, so the hunt continues.
So we don't know where Mizumai is. What unchecked entities haven't we seen yet?
Well, we haven't seen the right side of GT. I don't think we haven't found the GT big key, so we can't check upstairs or the big chest. And we haven't seen anything in Swamp Palace. Oh, we do have the against our big key. That's right. Okay, so we can check upstairs GT if we have to, but it's not exactly an appealing option. AsclepiosRod. Okay, that's where the bomb shop was at the Thieves' Town entrance. So this is going to be a long walk. Unfortunately, we know, well, if he had gone to Aga Tower right next door, he would have got the Swamp Palace small key, which would have opened up quite a few checks.
So a good chance the Pyramid Fairy is Misery Maya, because I think this is the only entrance we haven't seen.
Yeah, if if there's any other, I can't think of them. I mean, I guess there's GT, but we know Desert Palace Big Key cannot be in there. So I really hope that AsclepiosRod is not forgotten about Aga Tower, but it seems like he might have, because he was right next door to it, and to do this before Aga Tower, this is quite a time investment. But we'll see if it works. Alright, what do we got? Oh, it is the
It's
other
Bumper Cave.
side of Bumper Cave.
So, guessing Mizumai has to be on Death Mountain then?
Could be. I think we already saw Mimic Cave. Yeah, that was Paradox.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
Oh, here's a Gina.
Wow, we haven't seen a Gina in 2 hours, 55 minutes. The old guy does hide well.
Just bombs. Wow.
So what happened? Have we seen yet in terms of doors? Where on earth could Mizumaya be?
I mean, it could be at GT.
It could well be GT, yeah, because it's a pendant. Must be GT then. I
Yeah.
cannot think of it anywhere else again.
So if that's the case, then Mr. Meyer we definitely don't need to go into. AsclepiosRod hang up to Catfish, I think. Yeah, I don't think anyone's been here.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh, and there is one entrance up here, actually.
Dark Old Magic Shop.
Yeah, this was not checked. Spiral Cave. And he thinks, you know what, I'm going to go check Catfish first, because I don't want to have to come back here.
It's just pointing out he could turn in the mushroom as well whilst he's in there.
Wow, it flew. So that doesn't open anything up for us, but I mean, I guess it's kind of convenient, maybe. Although it's so late in the seed, I'm not even sure if it's worth activating it.
I do have to note that unfortunately we are going to have to cut off the stream fairly soon because Speed Gaming 4 is pretty tight scheduled tonight. In about 11 minutes, we are going to be getting another game in the Super Metroid Prodigy tournament going on, and unfortunately we are going to have to cut off this stream for that very shortly.
Yeah.
So if we're lucky, we might get the Swag Duck feed before we have to cut out. But
yeah, it seems. I mean, it's possible. If we find that Desert Big Key very soon, we might be able to finish this seed in time. But it would have to be coming up in the next couple minutes here. So he is going to activate the flute.
So get your 07s in chat for almost 3 hours into the sea. The Scourge of Hyrule is finally unleashed upon the world once more. I detest seagulls. And I do not call that a duck, that is blatantly a seagull. So Asclepios going to check out the right side of GT now.
Alright, I believe there are. Well, there's 4 items on the right side. There's also that big chest. He may also run upstairs, since there's really not that much left.
I think he checked the big chest actually, because he got the big key behind Ice Amos.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Alright, well, if that Desert Palace Big Key is in here, we might actually be able to see this seed completed.
It looks like LJ is trying to get through the Mimic Room with Ether with the Ether Medallion, but that doesn't freeze the Mimic, only the bow works now. Oh, there's the map for Turtle Rock. A key to the pod, so that unlocks one more chest there. And 20 rupees. Ah.
Well, that gives us one more chest and pod, but nothing else really. AsclepiosRod is going to ascend GT. In his position, I mean, I understand this. It's too bad. I really think he forgot about Aga Tower, because that has the Swamp Palace Smoke Key, which opens up, all kinds of items in Swamp Palace, and that seems most likely where the Desert Palace Big Key is. But on the other hand, it could be up here.
So the gauntlet is going to be pretty easy for Asclepios to go through with Red Mail, Mare Shield, and the Tempered Sword. No Silver Arrow. Probably hiding in Swamp somewhere. But is there a chance of the Desert Palace Big Key could be up here actually, or is it just completely out of logic once you start going up the tower?
This is in logic. We have all four GT small keys, and we have the GT big key. It's only the Gans Tower entrance that would be out of logic, and it seems likely that's where Misery Mire is. All right. So, unfortunately, folks, we are at the end of our time slot here. So, we are unfortunately unable to watch the runners complete the seed. But if you do want to continue watching them and cheer them on, we're going to throw their links in chat. And there they are, AsclepiosRod and LJMnin. So you can go ahead and cheer them on. But unfortunately, we have got to cut this off. Another event coming up on this channel. I want to shout out to our tracker, Artaro. Thanks for sticking through us with this long and brutal seed. And of course, my co-commentator, Revolving Ocelot. And I've been Atium. And give these runners a follow. They've been putting on a great show in this extremely difficult seed. Just all kinds of twists and turns. Definitely on the much more difficult end of entrance randomizer seeds. But
Absolutely.
yeah. So with that, I suppose I'll throw it over to you if you have any last words, Ocelot.
Yeah, we actually have got a few more races happening tonight. Over on Speed Gaming 2 right now, we have Old Swagger Jackson versus Furiomi. We'll do an interview, and they are at the absolute top of their league, so that game will certainly be worth checking out. They're about an hour in at this point, I believe. Later on Speed Gaming 3, we've also got Team Sphere Affinity versus Team 4K, Fourth, and Forehead. So still lots more league action tonight if you want. We've also got the daily race over on Speed Gaming 5 if you want to check that out, which is a spoiler inverted race. So, or if you just wanted to stay tuned, we've got the Super Metroid Prodigy tournament coming here right up. So check this out if you will. But other than that, it was this has been a brutal seed. So, but fascinating to see nonetheless. So shout outs to our runners, and if you want to keep seeing how they carry on, do check out their streams, which we have linked. So I myself will wish you all a good night.
Good night, everyone.